Welcome to episode 1053. It's Thursday, August 13th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. This show's sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Have I got a great show lined up for you? Lots to talk about. And yes, I'm getting ready to head out to the Big Apple. Talk about that and more. You know what comes next. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There's no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Showtime.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central. Of course, again, my name is Todd Cochran. I want to welcome you to the show. I want to give a very, 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 very warm welcome to all of the Ohana, all the longtime listeners of the show. I want to thank you for being here and being part of the family. Got a great show lined up for you today. Lots to chit-chat about. And I'll tell you, you guys see my little quick daft move there just a few minutes ago when the intro was starting. For those of you that were watching, I had the studio door open, and my kids were out at orientation, and I thought, maybe I can get the show snuck in before they get home. Well, no, it didn't work out. I heard them fiddling with the door and knew the house was about to get noisy, so I had to jump up and shut the door. But hope everyone's doing good, and if you're brand new, if you're the first time listening or watching the show, I want to welcome you to Geek News Central, and of course I want to invite you to get over to our website at geeknewscentral.com. Got a big announcement coming next week on Thursday. We're going to be introducing a brand new show to the network, and actually an existing show, one that's been in existence for a while. I've been working with these guys for a while. They've been ready to go. I've been slow with everything going on, and basically said it's time to make this happen. So I'll be helping getting them up and running and ready in amidst all the stuff that's going on here and me heading out. But definitely want you to check out all of our teammates. Of course, we've got the Pro Gear website. We've got Health Tech Weekly with Jamie Davis. We've got the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. We've got the Elder Divide with Todd Ani. And, of course, we got special media events by me, and then the new media show with Rob and Todd. So get over there and check out all the great shows, as well as all of the great content. All of our podcasters put up a lot of great content, so make sure you're checking out all their different sites. Get subscribed where you're on my site and theirs by clicking on the iTunes link or the Android link, depending on which type of device you have. If you want to go old school, you can do that by very easily subscribe by email as well. That's an option, or just use a regular RSS feed if you're not an iOS or Android user. We want you to get subscribed to the show, and if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, click on the more subscription options on the website. That'll get you dialed in. We want you to get signed up for the newsletter while you're on the website as well. This is not something I'm going to be spamming you with. This is a one-way, once a episode newsletter that comes out that contains everything that I'm going to cover in tonight's show. You can find that a little bit further down the website, so definitely check that out. We want you to be subscribed to this podcast in every imaginable way so that you do not miss a single episode. Of course, you can contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, or via Twitter @geeknews. I'm on Facebook, Google Plus as well, and you can watch this show on the Roku, Boxy, Samsung Smart TV, Google TV, Chromecast, you name it, we're there. Definitely check us out. Look for the Tech Podcast channel to be able to get the show and kick back and thumb through with your remote control. So just want to just take a few seconds here and again thank all of you that are longtime subscribers of the show for being here. Really, you are what matters most, and been doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes that don't necessarily 100% benefit you as an audience, but it's going to change the entire user experience on the website from how fast the website loads to a lot of other things going on that I'm excited about. My team has been doing a crazy job in getting our new products and services rolled out. I don't know if I got to show you on the last show. I can't remember, but we've put the new blueberry.com online. And for those of you that have ever thought becoming a podcaster, that's the place to go for all the tools and services that we have available. So I just want to share a few seconds about heading out to New York. This is a big deal. I booked all my appointments. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be running around Manhattan like a madman trying to make sure I get in and out of big buildings and in and out of tightly controlled offices and everything that goes with it. I've got my agenda written. I've got my, basically trying to figure out where the subway is and where I have to come out of the building. Do I go right? Do I go left? And I'm really at that point where I'm kind of optimizing. And boy, I tell you, Google Maps has helped me really get that dialed in, knowing which train to get on, which way to go. It's uptown, midtown, wherever, which way I'm leading. So it should be fun to report back how everything went, and if I made all my appointments on time. Meeting with some very, very high-level people in the space, and it's going to be interesting. And I've worked really, really hard on a presentation. The primary team that asked us to come out, I worked on that. We did the demo to them a couple of days ago. They added another a client they wanted to have me to meet. Oh, my daughter's waving through the screen. Another client they wanted me to meet with, who from their best discussions is going to be tough. So going there with my battle armor on, but this is really this is a big deal, and we've had some big client calls this week as well. So I'm being up very early on the phone, 5 o'clock in the morning, making calls. So a lot behind the scenes going on. The space right now, the new media space, podcasting space, is absolutely on fire. Lots of things being announced, a lot of acquisitions, a lot of investments. It's you name it, it's happening. So it's a pretty crazy time. But I'm going to be staying in and around the World Trade Complex. I don't know if they actually call it that anymore, to be honest with you, but I'll be staying at the Millennial Hilton downtown. So if we've got any Ohana that are in the New York area or out in the boroughs or maybe just in Jersey, I'm thinking that maybe we're going to try to do maybe a hangout. If you want to come over, I have a few cocktails. So I'm thinking, based upon my arrival time in New York Sunday afternoon, I'm probably going to be pretty zoned when I get in town. But and I don't know what's planned Monday or Tuesday night. And of course, I fly. It's a lot of heavy schedule there. But why don't if you're interested in hanging out, why don't you drop me an email and let me know that you're in the city or if you're within striking distance, and maybe we can figure out a time. And I know it's a very, very busy time of the year. People are still kind of on vacations, wrapping up. But, just drop me a line here, geeknews@gmail.com, and come and hang out, and it should be fun. One thing I am looking forward to doing is I'm going to go up to B&H. And that any trip for a geek slash podcaster slash video guy like me would not be complete without a trip up to B&H. I'm probably I may even do that Sunday night. I got to be careful. That place can hurt you. Can hurt your credit card big time. So going in there looking for a couple of specific things, seeing if they've got any sales. They don't always do, but once in a while you might get lucky. And they've got clients there that can give you good ideas and stuff to grab. I had started an update on my Mac about 45 minutes ago before the start of the show. I think, oh, this thing won't take very long, and it just booted up. So if anybody's in the chat room, I'm coming at this point. But basically, that's it. And at least I think I'm headed that way. We'll see if the browser will load. But that's kind of what's going on. Hey, do want to take just a minute here, of course, and thank our sponsor. This show, of course, would not be possible without our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy's been with us now 10 plus years, and excited to continue to bring great deals. You know, new domains are popping every day, new top-level domains. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the beginning of the show tonight. But do not let an opportunity go by right now. Is a time to be able to get in the ground level and get a domain name that you would not be able to get otherwise. Now, the .coms are going to be very, very tough. We all know that. Those are few and far between, and sometimes you can pick up a .com at an auction. But really, what you should be looking at are these new top-level domains like I've been doing. The .shows are great opportunities, and let me see if I can refresh this page to get things up so I can talk to the audience. There we go. So, and if you're in the chat room at live.geeknewscentral.com, please feel free to say hello. Anyway, GoDaddy has got connections to just about every new top-level domain there is. And I want you to definitely consider picking up a new top-level domain. Now, you're not going to get a 99-cent .show, but you can get a 99-cent .com if you find one that is perfect for you. But tie that with some incredible offers on hosting, and really you can't beat this, okay? To get started and build a site, and sometimes you may take a few months to get up and get running, and for really $1 a month for 12 months for really 3 different great packages, you just cannot go wrong. And this is the time to get started and building your own online presence. And these deals are going to save you a lot of cash. 30% off on new product purchases, 99cent.coms. You've got the website builder, $1 a month for 12 months. You've got $1 a month economy hosting. You got $1 a month managed WordPress hosting. Again, each of these $1 a month, and you for 12 months, and you get a free domain with each of those hosting offers. The website builder, you get the domain name, you get the website builder account, and of course a Microsoft Outlook email address as well. So do not delay in picking up a product over at GoDaddy.com that's going to allow you to build an empire, to be able to start with an idea like I had and be able to grow something into something very massive. And it can start with really by having a little forethought, picking out a great branded domain name that you can use and that you can build a show with. You know, I picked up tech.show, geek.show. Okay, so there's a lot of .shows left. Very short. Those are 4-letter domains. You try to buy a 4-letter .com today. You can't. You absolutely cannot. So you can, though, with these new top-level domains. And if you've got an idea, even if it's 5 characters or 6, it still is early days, and you're going to be able to pick up something that's really going to work well for you. The .tech domains are available as well. So if you're thinking about a tech-type show or something like that, you can do it. So again, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is where all those promo codes are at. We want you to use them. They all start with CJC, followed by GNC, and then the offer, 30.99. Got 1HS, WP1. So CJC, GNC, WP1, CJC, GNC, 1HS, CJC, GNC, Got, CJC, GNC 99, and CJC, GNC 30. Get these deals. Lock them in now. Start something cool. Tell me what you bought, what you did. I want to hear from you. I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central and doing what they do to really keep the lights on and keep us cooking along here month after month, year after year. Okay. want to just talk top level about the new top level domains. Um, my daughter said something to me yesterday, and I thought, And, we've been bouncing around ideas, show ideas for her. And she said, just if we could get something related to this. And she told me the topic. And I'm like, well, we might be able to. She really didn't have a clue that all these new, she just knows .com. And when I told her that there's like 1,000 new top level domains, she kind of freaked out a little bit. And we bought a couple for her. Her and I went through and bought a couple. But it got me to thinking, and this is why I was talking about it earlier with the GoDaddy spot, is that you have the ability now to really lock in something that wasn't available before. And for her, it was just an education process and telling her what was up. So as you're talking to people, and they are talking about an idea for a business or talking about some passion that they have, recommend to them that they go looking around now, that there's opportunities that haven't been available before. There was one domain that did get away from me recently that I just saw it today, available for $349. Someone had already put it up for auction. And, so I had to really think about, okay, am I really going to do something with that? And I decided no. I decided not to go ahead and spend that money, because it's one thing to get something for $24.95 or $39.99, but it's a whole different game when you're going to go out and dump $350. But for a business person that's getting started today, it really gives you some opportunity to grab some real estate, some online real estate that you haven't been able to do before. And it leads me to the first article that is on the register from talking about Larry Page. And, I don't know if we want to cheer or we want to say, what was his board of directors thinking? Because he wanted to go way large in buying a high number of the new top-level domains. Now, this is not a cheap endeavor. You got to fork up $185,000 cash to bid on a new top-level domain. Now, we know that their new website, the alphabet, is at abc.xyz. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant, right? abc.xyz. But he had thought about going much deeper. Now, they bid, and this is what's really incredible here, they bid on 101 generic top-level domains. Again, paying $185,000 a piece for them. Now, Google's got a huge amount of cash, so that was really kind of nothing. Now, the application covered everything from the obvious .google.gmail to the useful like docs, .cloud, .boo, .foo, and the number made it seem the total number made it the second largest number of applicants behind the company called Donuts, which raised $100 million solely to apply for new top-level domains. Now, the registrars learned from Google staff that the large number came in direct response to Larry Page's insistence that they go big. But when it came time to bid, of the 101 names it applied for, Google ended up, let's see, what was the number they got? It was 40. Let me look here. I had it. I think they got 47 of them, like, outright. And no, they got 40. They let 40 go. Okay, and so that leaves 61. So they end up just fighting for 4: .map, .app, .search, and .phd. It let go of .cloud, .tech, .movie, .talk, and many more. It even sold off rights in the uncontested top-level domain .car. Now, it could have won whatever domain it wanted. The one contested TLD that Google managers decided they did want was .app, and the company paid a record $25 million to get a hold of it. And again, it was the largest single amount for any top-level domain and nearly 4 times the size of the next largest public auction, which was $6.7 million for .tech. So if you think about the war chest that both Apple and Google had, they could have really bought up a bunch. But we have to think about what the board said. It was, no, we're not going to bid on these other 40. And just to think what could have happened if they did. Now, I'm happy they don't own .tech because I got a bunch of domains registered on .tech that I wanted. I'm sure many other people did as well. But it is kind of an interesting time in the space, and I didn't want to really make this a continuing, sound to be like a continuous add-on from the sponsor, but I just wanted to make you understand that the variety that's available out there now is huge. Some of the top-level domains are very, very expensive, like the .lawyer ones. They're cashing, and they're making folks pay like $1,000 a year or something like that. So not inexpensive in the least, but if you're a lawyer, that's probably a relatively low business expense, especially if you can't get the .com that you wanted. So anyway, that's what I wanted to started the show off tonight, was kind of going over that a little bit. But we've got lots more to share. And one thing I wanted to talk about was with security, as crazy it is these days. You would think that every online host would have their passwords hashed. That means encrypted, and to whatever level that they feel is necessary. But it appears not everyone really does that. And if you're a customer of Frontier Communications in Washington State, oh my goodness. It appears that if you need to reset your password at Frontier, they don't have a online reset system. Even my company has one of those. You basically go and click on it, enter your email. We send you a link. You hit the system. You have to re-enter your password, and we've got a very sophisticated password reset system. But apparently at Frontier, there's just some dude named Sean. Sean from tech support said, "Hey, yeah, I can update your password." And the person that was trying to get their password reset, he was like, "Well, I really don't want to give you my new password over the chat here." And the Frontier rep says, "Well, I know what your current password is. I can just cut and paste it into chat here. Would you like me to do that?" So Sean had asked this customer some basic information beforehand. They asked for his account number, he asked for his account number or landline number, the email address he was having trouble with, and the last 4 digits of the customer's social security number. And then that was all the verification that they need, and he actually cut and pasted this guy's password into the chat. Now, being that the customer rep could see the password in the first place tells me that Frontier Communications and their email client is something you should stay very far away from. If you're using their email, I'm telling you right now, tomorrow, go out and get yourself a Gmail account or Yahoo or any other place besides this business. And if you have a password that you've ever used other places, you need to log on to Frontier's website, especially with their email service, and scramble your password immediately. Now, I don't know if this is the case for the user accounts too. If they're keeping email passwords in the clear, it's got to make you wonder, right? I'm just, be honest with you, quite flabbergasted that a company in this day and age would have passwords of their customers stored openly. It just, to me, it absolutely doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that's the case with Frontier Communication. If you have them as if you operate with them and use their email, beware. every once in a while a doozy comes out of Freedom of Information Acts. You're going to love this. Vice News, Vice News, did a Freedom of Information Act with the Central Intelligence Agency. And in that stack, they received a apology letter that that the director, I guess then director, wrote to the U.S. Senate for illegally spying on it. Now, apparently, after they got this document via a Freedom of Information request, the agency contacted them and said, we would not want you to post that. And of course they said, no, we are. But it is very damning. And I am sure that Senator Feinstein in California, who had a lot to say about this in the past, and again, this was some time ago, back in 2014, will have an. I'm sure she wants to read it. In short, it appears that some folks knew that they were probably doing something that they shouldn't be, and that potentially some Fourth Amendment type constitutional rights were being violated. But and of course, separation of the executive branch and the and Congress in it. It just, to me, they know they were in trouble. Maybe that's why it never got sent. But the legislative branch definitely had cause for concern. But anyway, I have the link up in the show notes for you to read. And this was an article that was over on Tech Dirt. They didn't actually publish the actual apology letter, but I'll have it up for you to check out. All right, Samsung proposes a space internet as well. So it looks like they want to get in the space business. They feel that they can put about 4,000 mini satellites in orbit and create some pretty good connectivity. I thought that was kind of, Have we thought about putting 4,000 mini satellites in an orbit between like 160 kilometers and 2,000 kilometers? Do we not have enough junk up there already? Why don't we just drop some more fiber in it and wire it up at home instead of having to blast stuff into space? I just don't get it sometimes. Hey, today NASA, congratulations to NASA. They did a huge a test on the SLS Monster rocket engine, and this is they did a full 523 second burn. This would be the total burn of that particular stage. That would be a full burn, and everything, I guess, performed remarkably well. Nothing blew up, but the A1 test stand at NASA Stennis Space Center near Bay St. Louis, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, boomed. So they got a little bit of video on it. Not too much, though, about 30 or 40 seconds of video. Of course, after you see a rocket run for about 10 seconds hooked to a test stand, you probably don't need to see any longer, right? And let me bring up this article, and I'm all thumbs here for those of you watching the video. And let's see. Okay, let me get this back. I'm trying to be tricky tonight. So you guys notice that I'm switching cameras and giving you guys a little different angles. So anyway, good job, NASA. A little bit of space news. Antarctic Ice Cube Observatory discovery deepens a cosmic mystery. And of course, scientists have hoped that ultra-high energy neutrinos could point to source of ultra-high energy cosmic rays. And they've been down in Antarctica. Did I say Australia? Down in Antarctica, collecting, and been out, basically in the middle of nowhere, in order to be away from all kinds of noise and everything else, to be able to do these collections. But they made a big discovery. They found something that shouldn't be there, and now scientists are going back and scratching their heads. It was an energy event much beyond anything that they ever expected to see. So the astrophysicists are going to be definitely busy working on that data. I'll have a link for you up in the show notes. Okay, do you own a Beamer? Sorry. Yes, you can be hacked. Uh, basically this guy that's been going around hacking vehicles. Well, he's basically in BMW, into Benz, into Chrysler, digging around, and has been able to unlock cars, been able to do all kinds of crazy things. And it's all about an SSL certificate. There's a rogue SSL certificate that is causing trouble. And so this basically, he's able to remotely unlock your vehicle and get in there without having to have a key. Can target any vehicle in the United States, but he's given the manufacturers 30 days before he updates his software and releases this. So not good, not good at all. So car manufacturers, you're going to step up your game, or crooks are going to be having these hacks, and they're just going to, well, they're going to walk up to your car, open the door, and get in and drive away. They're not going to need a key. They really aren't. If nothing else, they'll, get in the vehicle and then do some damage to the console, and make it easier to, pull the vehicle away, and your vehicle ends up in the chop shop. So I would, if I owned one of these vehicles that had this problem, I would be screaming bloody murder. Good article over in BBC talking about technology in regards to books. How many of you have read a paper book recently? How many of you have read a digital book? And I'll raise my hand. I've been reading a lot lately. And all of it's been digital books. Haven't done any paperbacks. I guess I'm helping the planet by not, needing to have a tree cut down to read a book. But I will have to admit, for me, starting with the Kindle, then moving to the iPad 1, and now where we're at with the Kindle app, and being able to check books out from the library, right to your device, have them digitally delivered. Either you pay for them or you get them for, free at the library, checked out for free. I think the digital space has helped the book industry and writers at large, because I read books today that I would not have otherwise. I wouldn't have picked up a $7.49 paperback, but I'll pay $2.99 for a digital book. So I think this is. What do you guys think? Do you think that book writing has been able to survive because of digital, or are you still got to have that piece of paper in your hand and be able to touch and turn pages? I'd love to hear what you're doing, and love to hear if you've started reading again because of being able to do it digitally and not have to carry around, a 500-page book from Stephen King or something like that. So I'd love to hear your comments. geeknews@gmail.com is the place to drop an email on your commentary. All right, retail video gaming industry is beginning to bid farewell to the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. My kids are not going to be happy about that, but I've told them that they need to, start saving the cash if they want a PlayStation 4 or update their Xbox. It's been a little bit here now, but they feel that it's time. And companies are starting to roll back games and releases for 360, and will be focused primarily on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as you would expect. That's although going to mean there's still going to be a lot of great games available to buy on Craigslist and a variety of different places as well. All right. If you saw the Samsung event today, you'll have noticed that they've released a couple of phones. It was an hour-long press conference, nothing like Apple does. But if you want to watch the Samsung Unpacked event, you can watch it in under 6 minutes via a link that I'll have for you in Engadget. I do want to share with you, and I should have shared this in the beginning, about a little situation I've had with Samsung, or my wife has had. And you guys are going to love this one. And it's a little thing in customer service. So let me take a shot of water here. About a month ago, we've got 3 Samsung Galaxy S5s in the household here. My daughter had damaged hers, which ended up having to, we had to have it replaced. We had to pay the deductible, rightly so, or she did. And she did something stupid and broke it. But my wife's phone um, would not take a charge. It started where you would plug it in and it would just charge, stop charge, stop charge. And it wasn't the battery, it wasn't the charger, it wasn't the cable. So it was still under warranty. So we called Samsung and got a the ability to send it in. We shipped it in. And it was gone a couple of weeks and it came back. And immediately upon plugging it back in and setting we'd sent the battery and everything by, turning it on, within about 15 minutes, we knew it was still broke. And so the second time, of course, English is a second language for my wife. So the second time that she called Samsung, I listened to the phone call that she had with the rep. My wife did a great job describing the problem, explaining exactly what was going on, had the tech read back the issue, and they were going to do an expedited fix and return. Well, off it went and never came back. It was gone for at least another 2 weeks, and she got it back a couple days ago. And in the meantime, they've been doing the shuffle. I've had an iPhone 5 here that they were using in the midterm, so they would, because the SIM card's different, they'd have to go to the Verizon store and get the SIM card readdressed, blah, 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 all that stuff. And so yesterday, we were in town. My son was at his soccer practice, and we ran over to the Verizon store where she could get the SIM card swapped over again, and she got in the car, and she says, "Look at this stupid thing." And without it being plugged in, the charge indicator on the battery is going on, off, on, off. I mean, it's not plugged in. And I'm like, that's got to be a battery issue. And I said, just turn it off. Wait till we get home. We'll get my daughter's battery. We'll stick it in. And we got home, and we stuck the battery in of my daughter's and turned it on, and on charge, off charge, on charge, off charge, without it being plugged in at all. And we grabbed the cable and plugged it in, and we could tell it wasn't charging still. So here we are, having sent the phone off twice for repair, and it comes back broke. Well, they changed the screen, they changed the outside bumper, they changed the battery body, but they never changed the guts of the phone. So call number 3 to Samsung was with me starting this morning as we backed out of the driveway to take my son to school at 6 a.m. Over the next 90 minutes, I had a conversation with Samsung that went from Tier 1 to Tier 2 to executive customer service, where all 3 individuals were telling me, well, you have to send your phone back in for repair. And I was not having any of it. Now, I didn't tell him I was a blogger, didn't tell him I was a podcaster, told him nothing. I'm Joe Citizen. I've got an issue. I want you to fix it. And my Irish temper / big voice came out, as my wife would say. And the customer rep, the executive customer, I told the guy, I said, listen, I know this is not your fault, but I'm not happy. And you are the brunt of my despair at this point. So we went around and around with executive customer service. At least 3 rounds of me being put on hold and me patiently waiting. And he may have been putting me on hold to cool me off. I don't know. But he finally came back on and said, I've got approval. We're going to send you a replacement. Now, I'm going to tell you, 90 minutes of outright down in the trenches battle with Samsung for them to finally send me a replacement phone. We didn't care if it was a rework phone. We didn't care if it was a new phone. We wanted a different phone. Just you take this piece of FOD, this piece of junk, and just take it and smash it with a hammer. It is defected, it's broke, it doesn't work. And your repair shop are a bunch of idiots. And but here is something I've learned from that discussion. If I'd had that problem with Apple, that phone would have been replaced by walking into the Apple store and saying, "Look at this thing." They said, "Yep, that thing's got an issue." Boom, bing, and I'd have been out of there when it's under warranty. They failed. Samsung absolutely, unequivocally failed. And the only reason I got a replacement phone was because I was one angry, demanding dude. And I told the guy, I said, go ahead, hang up on me. I said, go ahead, I dare you to hang up on me because I will call you back. Why does it have to come to that? Why does it have to come to being, why do we have to raise our voices and get angry and yell at people? And I'm sure what it is if I would have acquiesced at level 1 support, this phone would be going back to Samsung for another 2-week repair, and it would come back, and it still wouldn't work. I just have that feeling. They couldn't fix it the first 2 times. Why would they fix it the third? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, what a trial. Samsung needs to work on their customer support. They really do. But I understand it's all about keeping the bottom line and not, you don't. And the thing is, this is a warranty issue. It wasn't even it wasn't out of warranty. It was in warranty. So, but anyway, that was my little share there. Hey, over on DefenseOne.com, let's talk about a congressman who went to DEF CON. And Representative William Hurd, a Republican of Texas, went to Vegas and walked the floor at Bailey's Casino and hanged out with the DEF CON guys. And had a pretty good discussion with them. So nice to see that the senator, a representative, did that. And maybe got some insight that he needed. So I have that link up in the show notes for you, too. All right, do you use Square in your business? Well, if you are a Square merchant and they're going to absorb its customers' liability for fraud during the EMV shift. And what EMV is, if you've got a new credit card recently, it's got the EMV chip in it. And they're going to have to, everyone has to upgrade their point-of-sale terminals, except the chip-based cards, and instead of the magnetic strip cards. So you may have gotten one already, and if you're getting used to it, you're going to learn that you got to plug your card in instead of swiping it. But Square is going to be covering any faulty charges that business incur if the business has already pre-ordered the new card reader that's going to launch in the fall. So they don't have a card reader ready yet, but if you pre-ordered it, they're going to cover any fraudulent charges. So that's a smart thing for those of you using Square. All right, Apple's announcing they're going to delay the live TV service to next year, but they are going to be announcing the new Apple TV in September. So we're going to get a new Apple TV, but the live offering is not ready. Sadly, that's not good news. At the same time, Apple says that it is now hiring or has made progress in hiring more women and minorities. So Apple's hired 65% more women, 50% more blacks, 66% more Latinos in the past 12 months, according to the company's annual diversity report released Thursday. That translates to the global hiring of 11,000 women, 2,200 blacks, 2,700 Hispanics, and for a 110,000 employee company. And they don't say exactly what that percent of. So how are these hires that little change the racial and gender composition of the company, which is still male and white dominated? The company's female workforce only grew 1% to 31. Compared to last year's report, the number of white employees declined from 55 to 54, while the number of Asians grew from 15% to 18. Percentage of Hispanics remained static at 11. Number of blacks grew from 7% to 8% in 2015. So nice to see that they're working on diversity, getting ladies and minorities into their workforce little by little. So it's interesting that they do this report. Not a lot of companies are willing to put that kind of information on the street. All right, the FAA has recorded now 650 close calls through August 9th of this year. And according to the statement, this is with drones. According to a statement released by the FAA yesterday, this is an increase from the 238 reports it received in all of 2014. In June alone, there were 138 reports of drones flying as high as 10,000 feet, up from 16 in the last year. Okay, that's stupid. Why are people flying drones at 10,000 feet? Is the camera not that good? Really? You know, you can't put that thing on YouTube, right? Without risking a fine. Sometimes, my drone, I'm flying it responsibly. I really, really am. And even at 400 feet, when I was in Michigan, flying the drone at my mom's house at 400 feet, plenty high. And also, you have to think about the higher you go, the winds get more crazy. The higher probability of crashing. The higher you go, the more, you get some good side wind gusts, that thing's upside down, and it's, it's coming down, and it's going to splat. So, fly responsibly. And I know all of you are, and if you go out with people that are not, speak to them. The China explosion yesterday has attracted some incredible drone coverage. This it looks like a nuke went off in this. Oh my goodness. Or like a major weapon. It's holy cow. When you see the video, which I encourage you to do, just look at all the containers for ships and stuff that are just like thrown around like blocks, and kids playing blocks. Just amazing. And we're going to probably see more video out of there before it's all over. But holy cow. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people died. There's like 2 housing areas that look like they're in the middle of a war zone. So you know that a lot of people lost their lives in that explosion last night. All right, Apple's Boot Camp 6 supports dual booting with Windows 10. So if you're a Mac user, you're waiting to put Windows 10 on the machine, it's time. You can do so. Also, those of you that are Android users, you're probably all very familiar with the stage fright flaw, and they're having a tough time getting it patched right. Google told Engadget currently over 90% of Android devices have a technology called ASLR enabled, which protects users from the issue. They've sent the fix to partners to protect users with the Nexus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Nexus player will get the OTA update in September. Of course, like all things Android outside of Nexus line, it's a wait-and-see situation. So be aware. Traditional researchers have given companies 30 days about these patches, so they got a few days to get them patched up, but they're on the clock. So look for security updates for your Androids. All right, iPhone 6 rumors are running rampant, and of course, it's probably going to be called the iPhone 6S. It's got the same design, we believe, as the iPhone 6, but it's going to have a little more rigid body, so we don't have any more bend gate. The specs probably going to have a little bit more horsepower underneath the hood. They're saying that the new processor is going to have 35% more power efficient, 15% smaller, and 20% faster. So that real speed is going to speed is going to be increased as well from the amount of RAM they're going to put, which is rumored to be 2 gigs now. The Samsung Galaxy X6 that they announced, I think they're putting 4 gigs of storage, 4 gigs of RAM. in the phone. But the camera is going to go more recessed, but they're saying that the camera is going to be DSLR quality. So that's pretty wild. And of course, iOS 9 has kind of been talked about a lot already, but that's the suspicion, and they think that it'll probably be available. Pre-orders will be available in and around September 16th. We knew that the iPhone event last year was held on September 9th, and then they went a week later. So if you're due for an iPhone upgrade and you're on the S series, stand by. It could be just about time. Today there was a big ceremony. The DNS Root Zone event happened, where 25 people from all over the world, over an 8-hour event, basically created some new keys. So the top-level domains would continue to run securely. So that's got to be about the most boring event that you could ever attend. But 25 people travel to this nondescript location every quarter to do this. What a deal. What a deal. I wonder if they get paid to fly over there. In Japan, any of you that have ever traveled the train systems there know that salarymen, it could be any day of the week, will end up out with clients or the boss, and could be drinking quite heavily. And I've been on many a train in Japan where half the car was full of drunk salarymen going home, or very, very tired salarymen that were sleeping in the car. But I have seen instances where people were staggering around trying to get into the train car and so forth. Well, in Japan, one of the rail stations that has the highest incidence of people getting hurt installed about 50 cameras with some auto detection circuitry in it that basically can tell when someone sits still too long or when someone is walking erratically, can send staff to help them out. Yes, Japanese train stations are staffed. Most of them are. And so anyway, they are trying to prevent people from literally being hit by a train. Also, if you have an iPhone, a Mac, just about anything else Apple, patch now. There's an update available. That was what was updating on my personal machine as we were getting ready to, or the machine over here that I watch the chat room on, that I travel with and do video recordings and video editing with. That machine basically popped the patch. So there is a big, big update for iOS OS 10 to patch Safari security hose and a variety of other things. So you should look for the update, and for both Yosemite and Mavericks machines. Again, this is a big, big update here, and you'll want to make sure that you do it. And they've actually patched some of the younger or the older versions of OS 10 as well if you've got an older machine without the newer software. Windows 10 is apparently still phoning home, even when ordered not to do so. The folks at Stream Tech have been done some research, and the research is showing that even when functions are disabled, that they found that the operating system can't resist phoning home to Mama, even when ordered not to do so. Even if you've turned off Cortana and searching the web with the built-in search box, the OS reaches out to connect to Microsoft via a machine ID code that persists across reboots. Windows 10 downloads new tile information from the web even when live tiles are turned off, and it transmits data to a Microsoft SkyDrive server even if no Microsoft account is present on the device and or OneDrive has been uninstalled. So Microsoft still has some explaining to do why you can't shut that off. How many of you have done any stock buying, stock trading? There's a no-fee stock trading app now. Robinhood is now available for the Android. So this is big. You know, the app launched initially on the iOS late last year and has grown to hundreds of thousands of customers and made over $1 billion in trades on the platform. So Zero Free Stock Trading app, again, is available. And this is exciting stuff. If you've done any trading, or maybe you're going to be away from your computer and need to initiate a trade, you can do so. All right, no fee. And NASA, finally tonight, is asking the public to help design smartwatch apps for its astronauts. So they've got a little program going on here. It's a contest on freelancer.com, and the best app designs are going to get $1,500. So, and plus a little bragging rights. So definitely check that out if you're an app developer, especially if you're creating um, smartwatch apps. So you can have your app go to space. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Let me get this loaded up here. Let me look at the time here. I think we're okay. And the date, today's 13th. Last show was on the 10th. And, all right. Oh, I didn't hit that. That was dumb. All right. I got an email from Bree. She says, hey, Todd, Noah, what Noah is doing off your coast. So let me load this up and look at this. Now, what has she sent me? It's called the Okeanos Explorer, a NOAA ship, Okeanos Explorer. Oh, it's exploring deep waters off Hawaii. Oh, this is cool stuff. Thanks, Bree, for sending that over. I'll definitely be checking that video out. I got an email from Nathan. Hey, Nathan. Thanks. Hey, Todd. Just downloaded Geek News Central for the first time today. Naturally, I started with episode 1000. Way to go on reaching that milestone. Well, Nathan, if you went back to 1,000, that news is kind of old, dude. But anyway, I've interacted with you on podcasting technology, Google Plus community in the past, but never really realized who I was talking to, just that you had sweet audio, sweet studio. I heard about your involvement and impact in the podcasting world from Daniel on the Audacity to Podcast episode 231. Glad he mentioned you, so I'm finally able to connect the dots. Anyway, you have a new fan and listener. Thank you for your hard work in the space. And this is Nate. He's a co-host of the AV Shop Talk podcast. Sounds like pretty cool. So let's see. Do I have a link to his show? So you guys will have to look AV Shop Talk podcast. And Nathan is from Boston. So hey, thanks, Nathan. And did you watch the game today? I didn't, but I know many of you probably were out that way. Let's see here. I got an email from Jeff talking about a wall outlet deal. I don't know if I covered that in the last show or not. Let's look at the time. Probably I did. So I think that's it for email. Just a few. You guys don't love me anymore. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. And, of course, I want to encourage you all to consider becoming an insider. The insiders are starting to come in. It's really helping. And we've got a ways to go to hit some of our milestones that we've outlined for the show. But if you could do that, it would be greatly appreciated. If you don't, picking up a domain name and using one of my promo codes or sharing my promo codes with your friends, family members, people that you know, retweeting them, posting them on Facebook, linking to the page are always awesome. It definitely helps the show grow and keep the lights on here. But no show on Monday, because I'll be in New York. So I'll be back with you on Thursday. It seems like forever, yeah. But thanks for being patient. These kind of trips are important to the entire Ohana. And that will become more apparent as we move forward over the next couple of years here. But it's been my pleasure to bring you the show today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying subscribed. And again, thanks to the insiders and everyone else and all the long-term listeners. It's been my pleasure. We'll see you next time. Aloha.